akhirnya ketemu ya Mbak Dana ya.
Iya nih udah lama pengen ke Pekanbaru kan, tapi nggak jadi-jadi. Terus COVID, ya udah kita begini aja dulu ya.
And last time kita hanya sempat WA di pesawat ya, ingat nggak?
Betul banget. Penerbangan ke Batam dialihin ke Pekanbaru, tapi nggak bisa keluar. Pokoknya aneh banget deh.
Iya terus tiba-tiba WA-an dan loh, ya udah, gue kira udah nyampe di Pekanbarunya tuh mampir, ternyata cuma di pesawat doang nunggu.
Akhirnya cuma dipanas-panasin duren aja tapi nggak dikasih.
Saya perkenalkan kembali SHAU. Jadi mungkin banyak dari kita yang sudah mengenal SHAU. Banyak karya-karya dari SHAU yang sangat menarik dan monumental pada saat ini. They just released their latest micro library yang ada di Semarang, teman-teman. Itu hebat banget. Mungkin sambil teman-teman dengar, mungkin bisa sambil Google. And anyway, we're going to have a little bit presentation from Dana and Flo. And Dana and Flo, please introduce your works to us.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yo. Share.
Iya, kita mulai screen sharing ya. Ini sebenarnya kita ngusulin tema hari ini tentang multiprogrammatic spaces nih, karena sentral buat karya-karya kita, sedapat mungkin kita bikin di ruang publik yang bisa, itu ruangnya multiprogrammatic. Kita diminta nih sama moderator di awal, cerita-cerita dulu kenapa sih kita jadi arsitek, terus perjalanan singkat dari Jerman, Indonesia, ketemu di Belanda, balik lagi ke Indonesia gitu kan. Nah, jadi kita tuh sebenarnya ada 3 partner di SHAU. Ada saya, Daliana, ada Florian, sama ada Tobias. Terus kebetulan karena takdir dan lain-lain, kita ketemulah gitu. Setelah saya sempat kuliah di Untar, terus sempat belajar di Andra Matin sama Yori, Florian juga sempat di Jerman sama Tobias, menang sayembara setelah mereka lulus. Terus mereka kolaborasi, dan Florian ke Jepang juga sempat untuk magang di situ, sempat kerja di KSP di Berlin. Pokoknya kita ketemu di Berlage Institute nih gitu. Itu sekolah tadinya di Rotterdam, sekarang di Delft. Ya, recommended kok sekolah di Delft di Belanda, menurut saya sih membuka wawasan dan menguatkan konsep bagaimana arsitektur sama urban design tuh saling bantu-membantu gitu. Terus kita sempat melanglang buana kerja di kantor-kantor di Belanda. Saya sempat ke MVRDV, ke OMA, ke West8, terus Florian sempat ke UN Studio gitu. Terus kita juga sempat riset di TU Delft sama TU Eindhoven, di mana Florian nyelesain PhD-nya tahun 2018 kemarin sambil ngajar-ngajar gitu. Ya, kemudian
wow.
Ini beberapa karya lama kita. Waktu itu saya kerja di OMA. Di Remkulhas itu gak pernah pulang deh, sampai ngekos deket situ supaya jarak tempuh cuma 3 menit dari kantor, biar bisa bolak-balik, mandi bentar, balik lagi ke kantor gitu. Pokoknya jarang tidur. Itu belajar banyak juga sih di kantor itu, setahun berasa kayak 3 tahun. Jadi kalau nyari kantor nggak apa-apa cari yang sibuk, biar pengalamannya dimaksimalkan dalam misalnya cuma 3 tahun tapi berasa kayak 9 tahun gitu dapetnya gitu loh, atau 1 tahun berasa 3 tahun. Waktu itu saya dimasukin ke tim yang paling sibuk di kantor, itu namanya Rothschild Bank di London, di mana waktu itu saya banyak kerjain fasad bangunan itu timnya ada sekitar 15-20 orang. Remkulhas cukup intens di proyek ini, jadi kita dapat belajar banyak juga di situ.
So yeah, at the same time, while Daliana was working at several offices, I was at the UN Studio in Amsterdam. I was also working on several projects all around the world, doing a lot of competitions. But I was also quite in a lucky position because one of the partners left, I started working on the Fraunhofer Institute Center for Virtual Engineering, and when he left, I could step up and become a project leader of this project, and got realized. And with a lot of these big offices like UN Studio or maybe OMA or MV or RDB, they produce a lot of concepts, a lot of designs, and not everything gets realized. So you can, if you're quite unlucky, you're working for 5 years in a studio like this, and none of your projects which you were working on is ever going to be built, right? So in that sense, I was quite lucky to be part of a project which is built and also is like relatively intrinsic in terms of geometry and geometrical modeling and how to realize such stuff.
This is your slide.
Oh, okay. No, basically. So you see, this is a map, and obviously it highlights a little bit where we come from. We come from the west, the northwest, and the southeast, and in a way, in this sort of diagonal, there are a lot of interesting things happening in these two different cultures. Like maybe being from Germany, we sort of learn a lot about detailing, about construction, and so on and so forth. But everything is very, very regulated, and then you come to an environment like Southeast Asia, like Indonesia, where a lot of things are more informal, less regulated. So there's a different expectation and a different way of communication. So in a way, Daliana came from Indonesia to the Netherlands, and she had a sort of moment of transformation in her way how to do architecture and how to perceive architecture. And the same goes for me. For me, going to the Netherlands is not something super, super special because it's the neighboring country. But then again, coming to Indonesia 5 years ago and, changed my lifestyle completely. Also, gave me a lot of different experiences and a different way of looking at architecture. So it's very interesting if you flip over your perspective completely several times in your life, maybe. So this is sort of the underlying background, the background noise, the background vibe of what makes SHAU maybe.
Yang baru gabung itu ya, selamat bergabung. Terima kasih udah nyiapin waktu. Pasti lagi lapar-laparnya nih bagi yang puasa. Ya jangan dipikirin, bentar lagi habis lecture bisa makan kan bentar lagi buat mengisi waktu. Nah kita dipesenin ngasih lihat early project kita. Kebetulan karya kita di Architecture Biennale di Rotterdam waktu itu sempat mendapat kesempatan dan sorotan. Dalam arti kita ngajak teman-teman arsitek. Ini di belakang ini ada foto almarhum Mas Johara ya, sama Mbak Wendy tuh ada fotonya. Kebetulan ada Mas, waktu itu kita ngajak banyak teman-teman arsitek yang mau ikut pameran di Rotterdam. Kebetulan kami kurasi untuk bagian Jakarta di tema besarnya Open City waktu itu. Jadi bagaimana di kota Jakarta itu konsep reciprocity atau open city itu mungkin dilakukan lewat intervensi arsitektur dan urban design. Jadi waktu itu kita ngajak Mas Johara, Mas Aang, Mas Budi Pradono, ada banyak lain lagi yang juga ikut di situ. Dan selain itu kita juga interest ke material.
So yeah, basically there was a request, as far as I understand, to show a little bit older projects of ours and maybe where we come from. And we were invited for making a workshop building in Bali. I mean, the project never happened, but we were very much interested in this material aspect, and also how can you design something which is in a way maybe a little bit complex in its geometry, but relatively simple to execute. So in the beginning already, from when we started with SHAU, we were very much into this material experimentation idea, but at the same time, how to make it happen in an environment where there's maybe not such an understanding of digital design tools like in Indonesia, how to make it happen. So, for instance, we came up with a hyperstructure, which is a double curved surface, but it's only made from straight elements, right? It's sort of a ruled surface. So you could make it from straight bamboo stick elements. And we were not able to realize the project, but recently we were approached by Francis Surya Seputra, difficult name, sorry, He's organizing in Bali a sort of kampung, a sort of village with different pavilions where people can stay, tourists can stay, sort of an alternative concept for tourism. There's also other participants. Also, Budi Pradono is participating. Who else from Indonesia?
Mas Eko Prawoto is the master planner.
Yeah, so now we bring some of our early concepts back, like this bamboo construction and the ruled surface idea, something which can be built relatively easily with not cheap in terms of the material, but cost efficiently and nonetheless, giving our own twist to the whole thing. And this is a competition we did also together with Tobias. It's since a long while on our homepage, and you see this is a roof structure for a bus stop next to a train station in Esslingen. Esslingen is pretty close to Stuttgart as well. Stuttgart is like where Mercedes-Benz comes from. And you see these interwoven patterns. So basically we have these linear elements which sort of act as daylight coming in, and then this interwoven surface being the roof structure itself. And we did not win anything in this competition, but when it came then to Bojonegoro, we needed to design and come up with this parking roof structure within no time. I think we had 2 weeks time to design that, because this was very tight because of the household year of the budgeting. How do you call this in Indonesia?
Ya pokoknya Desember harus selesai semua, terus baru dikabarin November gitu kan.
So we basically reworked the design we had from Germany from earlier, which we spent maybe 2 months to design it. We reworked it into a steel construction, which can be done in Indonesia. And you see, like it works also quite nice with the orientation. So the long side is north-south. So all these eyes where the daylight comes in is north-south oriented. So it works quite well in this sort of tropical context. So in a way, it's quite interesting that we can bring something over which we designed actually in a German context, but it could also potentially, or is also working then and realized in an Indonesian context. Still me. This is a exhibition. We were invited, House Without Doors. So we came up with this beach house idea. And I think this is really one of our early key projects, which is defining SHAU in a way. This project is dealing with sort of the permeability, so the idea of the tropical climate. As long as you have a roof with overhang and rain protection, you could have a cross ventilation, you can have a breeze if you have shade. So what we did is what you see on this right side. It's like strings with pearls with beads. And the idea is the more dense they're hanging, the more private the room behind is. Sort of this layering. So instead of, it still plays with the notion of modernism, of the continuous ground, the continuous landscape underneath the roof, going through the building, going into the building. But the main difference is that we think like in modernism, it's like always transparent. It's like this either or condition. It's like opaque or open. And we think about in a tropical context, also maybe a little bit in an Islamic context, sort of where you have the idea, the notion of the screen, the notion of the mashrabaya, the notion of the layering. It can become quite interesting climatically, architecturally, sort of to play with depth, to play with permeability, not only climatically, but also how you enter the building, how you walk through the building, sort of to reinvent this sort of thing. And this is a project which you can find a lot back in terms of aesthetics as well in our later projects, which you see here. Obviously, top left is the screens, the sliding screens, which are very fine mesh at the Eco House. On the right is the sliding screens and the steel structure behind, also as layering in the micro library in Bojonegoro. Bottom left, you see actually sort of the pavilion type with this also meshed and permeable spirals in the Fibonacci library. And of course, the last project with the curtains and with the screen at the Barakayu micro library. So it plays all differently with this idea of transparency, translucency, and layering of different materials, and giving different views and revealing different elements within the building, the relationship between inside and outside.
Nah, terus selain aspek kita eksperimen dengan materialitas, transparansi, screen no screen gitu, kita juga tertarik banget sama bagaimana arsitektur bisa mencoba mengangkat isu urban design dan arsitektur bisa mengangkat isu yang ada di kota gitu. Jadi ini lanjutan dari riset kita buat Open City yang tadi kita tayangin tentang pameran di Rotterdam. Ini kebetulan kolaborasi kita sama Andra Matin. Jadi Social Mall nama riset projectnya, di mana kita mencoba menghubungkan beberapa mall di Bundaran HI Jakarta. Itu kan sangat tidak terkoneksi satu sama lain. Waktu itu ada IX Mall, terus masih ada Grand Indonesia, ada Plaza Indonesia, banyak mall di situ yang kalau keluar mobil mau ke mall sebelahnya juga nggak bisa gitu, mesti muter di Bundaran HI terus baru ke mall yang lain. Belajar dari Singapura dan Hong Kong itu contoh kota yang baik di mana ada interkonektivitas lewat selasar atas sama underground connection yang kita juga pelajari untuk Bundaran HI waktu itu. Jadi tesis kita tuh salah satunya adalah jadi mall itu kan waktu itu berjamuran banyak banget tahun awal 2000-an di Jakarta. Kenapa mall hanya komersial aja padahal posisi dia itu sentral sekali di suatu kota. Kenapa nggak juga menyediakan fasilitas masyarakat yang emang dibutuhkan, dan mall itu jadi punya daya saing juga secara komersial karena menyediakan ruang-ruang yang gratis, yang fasilitas umum yang diperlukan oleh warga sekitar gitu. Jadi kita coba masukin fasilitas-fasilitas umum itu di ruang-ruang antara yang menginterkoneksikan beberapa mall gitu. Waktu itu udah sempat cukup jauh, tetapi ini terlalu hal seperti ini tuh kadang nggak apa-apa menurut kita riset aja, belum tentu bisa dibangun, nggak apa-apa, tapi menurut kita ini menajamkan pemikiran kita dan juga akan membawa kita ke proyek-proyek yang lain. Ini contoh dari model potongan di mana ada 2 mall interkoneksi tertentu yang bisa menambah nilai Bundaran HI sebagai ruang publik. Nah, terus Taman Film ini proyek kita pertama di Bandung kebetulan. Saat itu Kang Emil kan tiba-tiba jadi wali kota ya. Ridwan Kamil yang arsitek, networknya di arsitektur, tiba-tiba jadi wali kota Bandung dan kebetulan ngajak kita untuk melakukan sesuatu di bawah kolong Pasupati, Jalan Layang Pasupati. Kemudian sebagai serial dari untayan ruang publik di bawah jembatan Pasupati tersebut ada Taman Film. Nah, Taman Film itu waktu itu 2013 masih kosong banget gitu. Jadi kita site survey di situ. Waktu itu kita masih ngantor di Rotterdam. Kita kan baru pindah ke Bandung 2015. Tapi kita ada kantor di Jakarta waktu itu bersama partner kita. Terus kita survei dan kita desain sesuatu yang sesuai dengan bentuk kontur topografinya. Jadi Taman Film ini menurut kita mungkin ruang multiprogrammatik pertama nih yang SHAU berhasil wujudkan di Bandung dengan bantuan Kang Emil. Karena ternyata patron atau support yang baik itu penting sekali buat keberlangsungan suatu proyek. Jadi kita sebagai arsitek bisa idealis, visioner, tapi terus kalau nggak ada yang ngedukung, mungkin kurang bisa direalisasikan proyeknya. Tapi begitu ada stakeholder yang bisa mendukung, itu menurut kita penting sekali juga. Jadi Kang Emil itu perannya besar sekali sih dalam beberapa proyek kita di Bandung. Oke, jadi Taman Film itu kita desain menggunakan topografi yang ada. Jadi dia adalah seating yang berlingkar-lingkar. Kita emang pengen supaya kesannya informal. Jadi ruang ini bisa dipakai juga pas lagi nggak nonton film, bisa buat duduk-duduk, nongkrong gitu, ngabuburit sebenarnya. Karena Bandung juga adem banget. Dan ini ada atapnya ya dari Jalan Raya Pasupati tersebut, jadi nggak panas. Kemudian semuanya pakai material artificial grass, rumput sintetis yang sebenarnya kayak karpet gitu, jadi bahannya enak banget buat diinjak. Jadi menurut kita penduduk tuh jadi bersih makanya, karena menurut mereka ini kan kayak karpet ya, kayak masuk ke living room mereka sendiri, jadi kayak masuk rumah, kayak masuk mungkin tempat beribadah, jadi biasa buka sepatu dulu gitu. Jadi kultur ini ternyata berkembang di taman film ini, sehingga komunitasnya suka bersih-bersih. Terus kalau ada pengunjung yang nggak buka sepatu, ditegur, ayo buka sepatu dulu, kemudian ada tempat buat naruh sepatunya gitu. Jadi buat kita sih taman film ini tempat latihan yang menarik sekali buat sebagai arsitek, juga melihat bagaimana respons pengguna, respon user itu terhadap material desain yang sesederhana itu gitu. Jadi kita juga nggak bisa maksain usernya mesti berbuat apa, apakah mau nyampah atau enggak. Tapi ternyata kok di taman film ini mereka bisa memberikan respon yang positif dengan tidak nyampah dan menjaga tempat ini sebaik mungkin. Nah ini penggunaan maksimal waktu itu pas lagi ada pertandingan Persib lawan Jakarta nih. Jadi kan pertandingan bola, jadi abis ini agak rusak-rusak sedikit gitu kan. Jadi baru ditegur sama Kang Emil, kalian kalau pakai ruang publik itu doang dijaga yang benar gitu. Tapi ruang multiprogrammatik taman film ini menurut kita menarik karena buat anak kecil, buat belajar jalan, baby yang di kampung sekitarnya tuh mau belajar jalan, mereka belajar jalan di sini, sampai pengguna dewasa juga bisa memanfaatkan. Do you want to say a word about alun-alun Cicendo maybe?
No, it's okay. I think you said everything.
Oh, oke. Oke, masih giliran saya. Jangan bosan ya, saudara-saudari. Terus kita masuk ke contoh lain dari multiprogrammatic space kita, itu alun-alun Cicendo. Jadi di barat kota Bandung itu ada lahan kosong, lahan tidur gitu, 0,5 hektar aja. Waktu itu disewa sama pabrik tertentu yang nggak dipakai gitu. Jadi di Indonesia tuh sering banget ya pemerintah kota bilang, oh nggak ada lahan, tapi sebenarnya ada, terus lagi status disewain ke perusahaan. Nah terus Kang Emil reclaim kembali lahan itu, jangan dong kan nggak dipakai juga. Kita pengen pakai itu buat jadi ruang publik. Ini kondisi sebelum diapa-apain. Jadi yang dari Bandung tahu banget ini tempat orang beli onderdil bekas atau barang besi bekas gitu. Jadi dekat Pasar Arjuna, Pasar Teknik Arjuna, tempat pedagang nongkrong di sini untuk jualan metal bekas tersebut. Nah, jadi kebetulan kita dikasih list program yang banyak banget nih dari Kang Emil. Mau ada lapangan upacara, mau ada tempat skateboarder, mau ada lapangan ini itu segala macam, pokoknya banyak banget. Terus lahannya cuma 0,5 hektar, kalau buat ruang publik itu nggak terlalu besar-besar amat lah gitu. Nah terus kita coba mikir kalau kita bikin zona-zona gitu kan jadi kaku. Nanti satu zona dipakai terus yang sebelahnya nggak bisa dipakai. Jadi kita coba mau menggunakan konsep yang lebih merge gitu. Jadi semua program kita merge, kita distribusi fungsi-fungsinya, dan kita melihat itu lebih ke multifunctional space gitu. Itu sorry spellingnya kurang daripada ruang monofungsi yang tersekat-sekat. Jadi kita pengen semuanya emang konsepnya lebih merging dan lebih intertwining satu sama lain, dan orang bisa memilih mau melakukan kegiatan apa di ruang tersebut gitu. Oke, jadi ada skatepark gitu, ada kios, ada art market, ada beberapa meeting point, ada tempat olahraga, ada lapangan upacaranya yang bisa dibuat sholat berjemaah juga, cuma sekarang lagi nggak boleh rame-rame. Terus ada amphitheater di mana-mana. Kita coba bikin strategi dengan ruang-ruang tangga-tangga ini supaya juga bisa kadang-kadang dipakai buat amphitheater main musik, tapi kadang-kadang cuma buat nongkrong-nongkrong aja di situ juga bisa. Dan semuanya kebetulan pakai ramp, jadi untuk difabel juga cukup friendly. Tapi di sini hebat banget, jadi kalau udah difabel friendly, yang naik ke atas kadang-kadang malah motor. Jadi dipakai buat sepeda motor naik ke atas kadang-kadang. Jadi memang kita nggak bisa ngontrol pengguna dan nggak ingin juga mengontrol siapapun. Kita lihat aja reaksinya terhadap ruang-ruang publik di Indonesia yang terjadi gitu. Ya, terus untuk material nih, karena ini lokasinya di tempat orang jual bahan besi bekas, itu kita coba masukkan material besi bekas juga ke dalamnya. Tadinya kita mau pakai banyak korten steel gitu. Jadi curtain steel itu kan besi yang dikaratin terus dikasih coating lagi supaya tidak berkaratnya berhenti. Jadi tetap seperti itu. Cuma mahal banget kan, nggak masuk budget APBD karena ini dibangunnya dengan APBD. Terus ya udah kita ganti deh, kontraktornya harus menggunakan material setempat dan juga mengajak masyarakat setempat juga untuk membuat metalnya besinya bersama-sama. Jadi ini ya jadi buatan Bandung, nggak jadi beli di Amerika curtain steel-nya karena nggak mampu. Oke, terus ini fotonya dari udara seperti ini. Ada beberapa ruang-ruang yang lebih populer dari yang lainnya, tapi ini kita serahkan ke pengguna sebetulnya. Jadi kita coba menggunakan kontur, dan kalau naik ke atas pavilion tuh bisa ngelihat pemandangan 360 derajat, masih ada bukit-bukitnya gitu yang mengelilingi Bandung. Dan kita coba sedapat mungkin supaya orang bisa berinterpretasi apa yang mereka mau lakukan di ruang-ruang tersebut. Ini foto dari Mas Dudi Sugandi waktu sedang ada sholat, kayaknya itu Idul Adha waktu itu tahun 2018 ya. Kemudian ini tipikal weekend sebelum corona lah. Ini dulu banget, kita susah kalau ngomongin corona. Sekarang kalau selama corona PSBB ini ditutup, jadi nggak boleh masuk ke ruang publik. Tapi sebelumnya itu cukup ramai juga bahwa penduduk kota Bandung Barat tuh emang kekurangan ruang publik. Jadi cukup dinikmati sama masyarakat setempat. Kegiatannya juga bermacam-macam. Ada yang bisa pulang sekolah, main air, ada lapangan bolanya, ada area duduk-duduk gitu buat yang lebih lansia mungkin, sama ibu-ibu, bapak-bapak yang mau duduk-duduk. Kemudian buat kita nih di perbandingan dengan Eropa dan Indonesia, di Eropa kan pedestrian trotoar biasa. Tapi kalau di sini begitu dikasih trotoar kayaknya berharga banget buat penduduknya. Terus tiba-tiba anak-anak jadi bisa main-main di trotoar tersebut gitu. Ada becak-becakan yang cuma ngiter-ngiter aja di alun-alun Cicendo. Jadi ternyata direspon cukup baik. Dan yang menurut kita menarik tuh user kita tuh sangat eksperimental sekali. Jadi kalau di Singapura mungkin nggak bakalan nih terjadi tiba-tiba public seating-nya diatur-atur supaya menyerupai terowongan-terowongan main buat anak-anak. Tapi orang Indonesia nggak kalah, kreativitasnya tinggi sekali. Jadi pasti kita nggak nyadar bahwa bakal jadi seperti ini, tidak didesain seperti ini. Tapi ternyata user interpretation berkata demikian, bahwa mereka mau main terowongan, ya udah mereka bikin jadi terowongan gitu. Buat kita menarik banget sebagai arsitek bahwa karya kita bisa direspons seperti ini. Tuh, jadi alun-alun Cicendo merupakan contoh buat kita yang multiprogrammatiknya lumayan jalan, karena usernya juga beragam, mulai dari penduduk pertunjukan ular dipertunjukkan, sampai fashion fotografi gitu. Bandung dong kan, Bandung banyak fashion desainernya, jadi dipakai lah alun-alun Cicendo buat hal seperti itu. Nah, sekarang saya serahkan kembali ke Kang Flo.
So yes, as you have already mentioned earlier, that we're known for a micro-library. So I would like to show you actually the latest one, the Bareng. But it goes a lot into these multi-programmatic spaces. So the first one we built is the one you see on the top. Oops. The second Taman Bima one. So we learned a lot from that one, because the plaza where we built it had already a football field and it had a small stage. And we realized at that moment, if you would just build a micro library at a location nobody is using, then it would be an empty library. So in order to make, or the mission to make reading attractive, we sort of need to plug into a situation which is already existing, which is already in use by people. And we can't do so by taking things away they have, which is namely playing football and having the stage. So therefore the design strategy is to add program, to make it more usable, make it more useful. And after a couple of others, we were asked to design the micro library in Sekarang, which we made Warakayu one. So yeah, was designed 2018, 2019. Construction finished beginning of March this year. The client is the Arkatama Iswara Foundation. It's related to PT Kayu Lapis, which is a very big wood factory, and so they produce a lot of FSC, Forest Stewardship Council certified wood. They sell it overseas, and yeah, it's entirely sponsored by the Arkatama Iswara Foundation, and then it will be donated to the city of Semarang. And yeah, so also we had a very good contractor, Ra, and all the photos you see, or most of the photos are by Key. So yeah, again, you see here, I think what we started our presentation with, the idea of the roof, the idea of the ground going into the building or going underneath the building, as well as the screens and the layering of the external facade as a brise-soleil, and then the curtain behind. So this is all these notions of elements we are very interested to design with. And then of course, if you start to open it, the building has then a completely different permeability. Of course, in the morning and during the day, it's more closed and more volumetric, and in the evening, you know, when you turn on the light on the inside, it becomes much more open and much more breathable. So the whole idea with all of our micro libraries is actually to have a sort of passive climatic strategy, keeping direct sunlight out, getting indirect light reflected in to a degree that the building does not heat up, but you have enough light for the interior to run it without artificial light. Of course, if it's dark, then you need lighting. But then at the same time, also with the breeze going through, to have a natural ventilation, cool it down without air conditioning, and also getting the moisture out of the building, so that the books not getting moldy. So on the left, you see this diagram we usually have for microlibrary. So SHAU always tries or works together with the community. The community we are really reliant on. They have to organize the activities. They have to run the microlibrary. We cannot run it. It's also, you know, we're the architects. In that case, it's Harvey Center. They are also a charity organization in Semarang, which hand out food for the poor. The community needs to work together, also in close communication with the funding partner, in this case, the Arkatama Iswara Foundation. So they are also very interested in the matter of education. So they in the Harvey Center, they will organize this. So in that sense, the Arkatama Iswara Foundation is not only acting as a funding partner, but also as a content support. And then, of course, for a piece of land, you need the city, you know, for the permit, and you need to get the city on your side. So basically, all of these micro libraries we have built so far is always a sort of a similar configuration like this, but I mean, the individual partners and stakeholders of the projects are changing. That's the site. It's a very interesting site. It's close by Kampung Pelangi. It's I always forget, what is it? Taman Kasmaran.
Taman Kasmaran, yeah.
Yeah, Taman Kasmaran. So the site is insofar very interesting because you see this main road going over the river there. And people who may be familiar with this street is like shortly after our site comes this very long flowers and plant store. So this is very, very green. Then the Kampung Pelangi is a very nice view on the other side over the bridge and over the water. And then, so now what is very important that this, what you see where it's written cafe and food court, they have now a tourist bus stopping there, meaning domestic tourists coming there and stepping off and getting their coffee. So the library, in comparison to, let's say, the Taman Bima library, which is very much embedded in the local neighborhood and very enclosed and only serving a small neighborhood, the one in Semarang has the potential to serve a much wider and much broader audience simply because of its connection with the tourist bus. So yeah, this is the view from the cafe towards the Kampung Pelangi. And it's what I meant on the left side, you see all the plant shops. So for those of you who know it. No. Okay, next. That's the cafe. Then they started, the city started to refurbish also this plaza a little bit. So yeah, it brings it again back on this multi-programmatic. So multi-programmatic spaces, I think, or hopefully this is a little bit, we can make this a little bit clear by now. It's not only what one building is containing, but how can you participate or build up synergies between different parts of the city, different programs of the city. So the building itself doesn't have to solve everything by itself. It sort of can participate and anticipate what is available all around and can add value to that. In terms of design process, we went to this factory and we looked at the products they have at this factory, and instead of dropping a design and saying like we would like to make this in wood, we went the other way around. We went bottom up. So we first looked what they have, and then we start to imagine what we can make from that. Rather like the typical architect makes a sketch and then let's make it. I mean, of course, this is extremely reduced, but it's more like, okay, sort of what could we do with this material? What can we imagine? And then I remembered my studies back in Germany. What you see the screen here, this is a construction principle from the early 20th century. It's called Sollinger construction. And it's a sort of a reciprocal system, which is used usually for big three-span halls or large-span roofs. But I was very fascinated, we were very fascinated by the detailing, sort of that three boards are held together with one screw piercing through, and then the whole screen holds each other in a way. So we liked it very much. It has a certain logic and sincerity to the construction. We can use the plywood they're using, and at the same time it sort of adds up into something aesthetically, we think aesthetically very pleasing, and it also adds up a little bit aesthetically pleasing, but at the same time it is performative. So meaning the screen is relatively deep, it blocks out the light from the early morning hours and the afternoon hours when the sun angle is deeper. If the sun is higher during the noon, the roof will shade. But it works as sort of a multi-performative element. This is partly aesthetics, it's partly climatic performance in terms of sunscreen, but at the same time it also has a cultural performance, because when we looked at it, it looks a little bit like a scale pattern, and the scale pattern reminded us to the Warak Ndok, the icon of Semarang, and that's why we came up with the name Warak Kayu, the wood warak. So now we like to play and layer not only physical elements of buildings behind each other or with each other, but sort of we layer also different performances. We layer the aesthetic, the cultural, the transparencies, the inside, outside, and the performative layer together. Yeah, I mean, this diagram shows a lot of this. What is built up with and what specific material we used from them. So the main structure is done by finger joint laminate, wood cuts, rest of wood cuts, because they make a lot from Bankirai, they make a lot of furniture and flooring material which gets exported, and then you have a lot of little cutovers, and if you cut them properly and you laminate them together, you get this finger joint laminate, and you can make big beams from it. So all the columns, the vertical columns and the horizontal beams are made from Bankirai, and partly of course from reused factory waste Bankirai. And of course Bankirai is a fantastic material because it's waterproof. All the other materials, the facades and the decking and the flooring, is then made from Maranti-based plywood. But everything which we use there comes from the factory, is pre-manufactured in the factory, is delivered on site, and as well as, I need to speed up, sorry. now I lost my thread, comes from the factory, is delivered on site. So with very little waste and very little pollution, because everything is kept within the factory. So pre-manufacturing allows you to keep the noise and the dust and whatever in the factory, and then you have a relatively fast assembly time on site. We also, or together with the factory, of course, or the factory built a prototype. So what you see here, all the details we developed, also with their in-house research and development team. There was a one-to-one mock-up done for us to look at the details. Are they good enough? Where can we work? Where does it not work well? Where can we improve? And also, it served as a very good tool of communication with the contractor, who later assembled the building completely, to first understand the building on a one-to-one scale rather than only the drawing. So I think it's very important to show this. And if you have the possibility as an architect to make a one-to-one mock-up, being a facade mock-up, it's really fantastic, because it does not stay in the realm of the abstract anymore. Everybody can imagine immediately what we're really dealing with here. The floor plan is basically one open space. You come up with the stair, and if you look downstairs, you see again, coming back, the sort of multi-programmatic aspect. So the upper floor with the library, this is just the library. You have shelves and you have reading areas, but then the lower floor, the stilted house typology, which traditionally is used for for the cattle or for working, can now be arranged flexibly in completely different ways. So we have seating stairs where where they can watch a movie or a presentation. We have a swing to attract kids. So it becomes a multi-programmatic area where you can do a lot of different things. So you see this here framed a little bit by plants, the swing towards the entrance. If you look upstairs, you see the books behind the screen. So it's also, communicating itself, what is happening in the building. So this is the entrance situation where you have the seating stairs. You can walk up, you can read, you can sit within the yellow containers. You can store your shoes or your clothing before you go up. The swing underneath the net, sort of again, is not only a sort of a horizontality. We wanted to introduce a vertical communication between upstairs and downstairs, sort of that people see what's going on downstairs as well. People downstairs seeing what is going on upstairs. And you see here the kids, hanging out, reading. It's probably so comfortable that this little boy on the right side immediately fell asleep with the book. The interior space. So we are very happy with this, with the result. The result is very precise. It's very well done. We are very happy with the factory and very happy with the contractor's work. In a way, it is also very neat and very clean. It almost is almost Scandinavian, we feel, but at the same time, with the wood and with the color and with the surrounding, and as well as with the pattern, it becomes playful. It becomes a little bit ornamentic. So the whole Indonesia aspect, the whole tropical aspect, the whole culture of Indonesia comes back into the building, but a little bit of a different interpretation from our side. And so this is now the end of our presentation, and we shortly would like to show you that despite COVID-19, we're still very busy, and the building site is still very busy with a couple of our projects.
Ini ada master plan Politeknik Kementerian Pekerjaan Umum gitu di Semarang juga. Kebetulan kita yang ngerjain master plan-nya, tapi bangunannya kita konsep desainin aja, terus dilanjutin sama arsitek lain. Terus ada juga proyek Masjid Al-Manan.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oke, di Bogor gitu. Masih dalam tahap finalization design. Kemudian ini proyek kita yang lain di Semarang ini masih ongoing ya, masih dibangun walaupun corona, tapi tukang-tukangnya nggak mau berhenti kerja tuh. Jadi kita minta kontraktornya menerapkan standar jarak aja supaya tukang-tukangnya bisa tetap aman gitu. Jadi ini lagi dibangun, konsepnya Urban Village. Ini sebenarnya studio foto Yonas nanti yang mau dibuka di Semarang. Mudah-mudahan. You wanna continue?
No.
Oke, terus ini Creative Center Tasik yang kita desainin sebagai bagian dari program Gubernur Jawa Barat ya, Kang Emil juga. Terus ya baru mulai pekerjaan aja, tapi kayaknya terhenti sebentar ini, mungkin lanjut lagi nanti. Terus kemudian ini di Jerman, partner kita Tobias yang melaksanakan dan desainnya kita bareng-bareng di Witsmansberg nama tempatnya. Jadi ini rumah private house. Nah, di sini kita nggak bisa macam-macam terlalu multiprogrammatic public space, soalnya ini private space. Jadi ya ada nggak semua project mesti dijadiin public atau multiprogrammatic. Ada juga yang enggak, dan di situ kita bisa explore tentang yang lain.
It is a little bit multiprogrammatic because no, it is because the owner they're very sporty, so she gives yoga classes. So on the back wing, they have a very big sports hall. Actually, he likes to play basketball and skating and stuff like this. So, and it's around this courtyard. And the original design, we had a climbing wall where you can do free climbing. So it's not only a house; it's sort of a sports house thing.
Okay. Tapi nggak boleh sembarang orang masuk. Oke, terus ini yang masih lagi dibangun juga di Cirebon. Itu kayaknya kontraktornya dikontrak, jadi nggak boleh berhenti kerja tuh. Tetap lagi dibangun, lagi direalisasi. Ya udah kita tunggu aja nih yang alun-alun Kejaksaan Cirebon. Konsepnya juga multiprogrammatik karena itu demand-nya banyak banget di situ gitu. Satu-satunya alun-alun di tengah kota yang prime area. Jadi dari masjid, kebutuhan RTH, kebutuhan ruang lain-lain tuh banyak sekali. Jadi itu juga kita konsepkan secara multiprogrammatik. Dan terima kasih sudah pada nonton sampai terakhir-terakhir, padahal lapernya banget dan pengen nyiapin makanan ya, tapi sudah bersedia menyediakan waktu. Terima kasih banyak juga Mas Daniel sama Mas Parwin, sama semuanya yang udah hadir.
Hatur nuhun.
Oke, now teman-teman tadi semua udah dengar, sudah lihat, dan sebagian dari kita juga pasti sudah sangat familiar dengan beberapa project yang sudah dipresentasikan. Teman-teman feel free aja jika ada yang mau ditanyakan. Bisa. Oke, banyak banget yang bertanya. And me too, I mean like, saya juga dari tadi sambil dengerin mereka, saya banyak ngetik, jaga-jaga kalau teman-teman nanya, saya udah banyak banget pertanyaan. Oke, kita dahulukan pertanyaan teman-teman mungkin, tapi sebelumnya ini sangat menarik. Sebelum kita lanjutkan, Flo, I mean like you have been here for 5 years. Kamu udah 5 tahun di sini. How good is your bahasa? Bahasa kamu gimana?
Jelek, mohon maaf.
Okay.
It could be much better, but no. I mean, I took a couple of courses. I took courses already when I was in the Netherlands. I took courses here. I went to an intensive course, but working. No, there's actually not much of an excuse. I should be able to speak a lot better. So, yeah. But I'm sorry.
Yeah. Try harder.
Yes.
Karena dari teman-teman saya banyak bilang bahasa Indonesia itu sangat mudah dipelajari. So, good luck for you, Flo. And by the way, teman-teman ada juga nggak yang ngerasa looking at you both reminds me of Linda Neri and Rosanna Hu. Jadi from Neri and Hu, both of you. I mean like long hair, Rosanna long hair, right? And a storyteller husband, like a storyteller. Flo is I don't know. I mean like hard to say. And anyway, kita mungkin lanjut aja ke because I'm a good friend of Linden, so it reminds me of both of you.
Ini potongan rambutnya corona banget nih.
Ya.
Yang perempuan ya udah panjang aja nggak diapa-apain.
Every time I shave, I make it shorter and shorter and shorter. So it started with 1 cm, then 5 milli, and then 2 milli. Next time, wet shave it.
That looks good.
Pada botak-botak juga nggak yang laki, terus yang perempuan ya udah panjang-panjang aja nggak diapa-apain.
Okay. So, ini ada yang pertanyaan. At the start, you mentioned that it's good to be in big studios like OMA, and UN Studio. How much do you get involved in a single project? It's from WF. And is it better for a fresh graduate to be in a small studio with a more intimate supervision, I guess, rather than in a bigger studio? And what's your opinion on current and future Indonesia architecture, especially coming from European architecture background, which very appreciative towards architecture and urbanism? That's, yeah.
So the decision of a small versus a big one, I would not generalize that. It's really tough. It's really hard. When I was working in Japan, and it was a very small, I mean, Hikusato, it was relatively small. It was the size what we have right now, so it was not big. I could do a lot of things, and I enjoyed it tremendously. But I enjoyed it not only because of the size, but because of the content, right? So I think it's not necessarily a question of size, but more of what are these architects doing. Because I was working also in smaller offices in Germany, and I found it incredibly boring and unchallenging there. So I would say size is not the key point. The key point is what is the design philosophy, how much do they allow you to work and participate in the project, and what is your character, what do you want, and does it match, you know?
Hold right there. So, jadi teman-teman menurut Flo, itu nggak penting tentang berapa besar studionya, kecil besarnya itu nggak matter, nggak masalah. Tapi yang penting adalah konten, apa yang kamu kerjakan gitu, filosofi desainnya bagaimana. Dia juga jelaskan bahwa dia dulu pernah di Jerman di studio yang besar, tapi dia nggak ngerasa lebih enjoy dibandingkan ketika dia bekerja di Jepang di studio yang lebih kecil. Okay.
So look, I mean, what I see from people who have worked for us, we are trying to sort of establish a little bit of a Dutch non-hierarchical way of doing things. Okay, meaning you come to us, you can have an opinion, you should have an opinion, and you should try to be self-reliant and do things yourself. Of course, we both give our input and we both design, and we are there, but don't expect us to make every stroke and sketch everything and you just work it out, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're looking more for a strong leadership, you maybe should not come to us. If you look for more like being a free spirit, an individual amongst other individuals with a common interest, that maybe, you know, it's good to work for us. And this is something what we learned from now working in the Netherlands. So I think this was for us both a formative experience, and maybe you would like to explain a little bit more about that.
Iya, jadi pengalaman kerja di Belanda sih di OMA, saya sempat di MVRDV sama West 8 juga. Itu tiga-tiganya karakternya beda sedikit tapi ada kesamaannya. Jadi di Belanda tuh semua orang dianggap sama, mulai dari magang sampai senior partner boleh ngomong, boleh punya pendapat, boleh bilang senior partnernya kita punya pendapat lebih baik, boleh. Jadi dengan kesempatan itu involvement setiap individu tuh jadi terbuka, nggak karena hierarki, karena masih muda atau karena baru masuk, tapi karena punya ide. Jadi tergantung itu. Jadi kebetulan saya dan Florian kayaknya dapat kesempatan juga untuk berkontribusi di proyek-proyek OMA sama UN Studio dalam hal yang di mana kita bisa kontributnya saat itu gitu. Jadi ya selama kita bagus bisa ngasih input itu dihargai sekali, apapun backgroundnya, muda tua. Kalau di Indonesia nggak tahu ya, saya tuh pengalaman kerja di Indonesia saya cuma di Yori sama di Andramatin tuh kan nggak standar ya mereka. Mereka juga menurut saya cukup terbuka dan bisa mendengarkan pendapat siapapun, apalagi Yori tuh care banget sama semua staffnya ya kayaknya, sama Andramatin juga. Jadi kayaknya selama kita coba untuk mengadakan kultur yang beda dengan di company-company yang cukup besar dan standar dan hierarkikal, kayaknya bisa juga gitu. Jadi nggak harus ngikutin standar company-company yang besar. Terus kalau saran saya kalau mau belajar banyak di studio yang kecil sebenarnya, tapi lebih tough loh di studio yang kecil dibandingin kerja buat company besar, karena kalau di company besar banyak yang saling menutupi kekurangan masing-masing. Kalau di studio kecil kekurangan kelihatan semua, soalnya pasti tanggung jawab besar. Jadi mesti bisa segala macam gitu. Jadi lebih tough buat kerja di company kecil loh. Tapi banyak juga belajarnya karena tanggung jawabnya lebih besar gitu. Sementara begitu.
And how do you think about the future of Indonesian architecture? As she asked. Since I mean, like it's so much influenced by what you write is European architecture, or how I prefer to say Western architecture. I mean, how do you think? What is your opinion?
No, I don't think it's so much influenced by Western architecture. I think Indonesia actually is quite good in developing its own sense and style and whatever approach towards architecture, which is maybe not only intrinsic to Indonesia, maybe it's something Southeast Asian, simply due to different culture and due to a different climate. Of course, it has European influences, but I think it's always reworked in a way to make it your own, to make it more specific. So look, there is this so-called notion of Asia, of copying things, and sort of the copy is the highest form of appreciation. But I don't see so much copy. I don't think this is something necessarily bad. It's because as long as there's the creative process of trying to understand what you're copying and trying to make it your own by your own input, I think this is quite good. So I don't see Indonesian architecture, especially by those who are well known, which you see a lot in the Indonesian architectural media. I think they're very, very outstanding and good examples in their own right. And I think what is good in the past couple of years is that you see them also more and more on an international platform, standing up and showcasing themselves as having also the guts and the balls to say, like, we are also good architects and we want to show it to you. It's not only being shy and stay within the Indonesian field. We have to go out and show it to the world.
Spread your wings, as you say. So let's continue about another questions from Hosea. Hosea is he's also from NBA but from Yogyakarta. Terkait COVID-19, gimana respon yang bisa diterapkan untuk desain multiprogrammatic? How do you respond this COVID-19 for the future of your design on multiprogrammatic space?
Kita lagi mikirin, we're thinking about it. Apakah itu benar-benar berpengaruh ke desain secara esensial? Apakah dengan menyediakan penggunaan sementara pada masa epidemi itu cukup? Karena kita nggak ada yang suka kan, none of us like living like this, right? None of us like social distancing. We'd like to be close to each other again in public space. I mean, the more we're torn apart, the more we feel the need of getting with other people in public space and everywhere else. Jadi menurut kita sih fleksibilitas dalam masa pandemi mungkin yang bisa dijadikan suatu acuan desain bahwa itu akan mengamankan penggunaan pada saat itu. Tapi kita nggak pengen ini berlanjut selama-lamanya, gitu sih. Menurut kami gitu.
Okay.
Me personally, I'm very critical about what's going on, and I'm insofar critical about what's going on is that I think again we need to see an Indonesian context. A lot of this COVID-19 discussion was led by taking China and more developed countries as an example. And I simply don't think that works per se for Indonesia. So when we talk about the social distancing and keeping the curve flat, that was so often repeated till a point where I had the feeling people don't understand what it actually means. So because keeping the curve flat means you stretch out the rate of infection so long that your hospital capacity can catch up, right?
Yeah.
So, but what do you do in Indonesia? You don't have hospital capacity at all. There's nothing. Which curve are you talking about? Because, so many people died of COVID-19 already. I mean, because lack of treatment. So you cannot make a curve flat that it becomes a line. How long do you want to stretch it out? So I'm not saying, on the other hand, that we should now start mingling again all and should completely ignore it. But I think we should find an Indonesian solution and also an Indonesian way of how to deal with it. Because in Indonesia, it's more important that people have food, because otherwise it leads to riot. If you lock down the country entirely. If you look at the kampong situation, people living packed and densely. Plus, we don't have the resources here. So we need to come up truly with our own solution, our own discussion, which is taking the research and the results as they are, but just copying solutions from more developed countries, which have the luxury that people work from home, teleconferencing, whatever. I mean, here people, the poorer people, the Gojek drivers, you cannot put them behind a monitor. How should that work?
Yeah.
An economy where a lot of things are based on service. So, and of course, the implication in that for architecture and urban space have to be a completely different one than what you see in a discussion from China and Europe and whatever. So we have to find our own way, and we have to think of our own solutions and think a bit one step further, one step ahead.
Yeah. Talking about research, I read it down before when you explained about your collaboration between you and Andra Martin on the research. I'm quite interested to know why you do research and why you collaborate with others. I think it's important for us to know. The reason behind this collaborations and this research that you initiate. Jadi teman-teman, saya mau tanya, tadi dia ada jelaskan tentang riset yang dia jalankan gitu, dia inisiasi, dia mulai bersama Andra Martin di area Tamrin gitu. Nah, saya penasaran, saya tanyakan, tadi kebetulan dia mention tentang research. Kenapa dia bisa punya ide untuk research? Kenapa SHAU punya ide untuk memulai research dan berkolaborasi dengan arsitek lain gitu? Alasannya apa?
Ya, kalau menurut kami tuh riset itu memposisikan arsitektur menjadi berguna dan minjem kata-katanya Juara, berharga gitu Bang, untuk dilaksanakan. Jadi research positions your design that it belongs there, that it's an important thing to solve in that situation, in that specific topic.
That context.
Ya, jadi membuat narasi sebetulnya kalau mau bilang, tapi bukan cuma cerita-cerita aja bahwa emang ada permasalahan yang coba kita hitung, coba kita riset, coba kita temukan solusi masalahnya, maka dengan itu desainnya juga orang merasa, oh iya oke, jadi itu kenapa ada bangunan itu di situ, kenapa respon desainnya seperti itu, karena sudah ada track research sebelumnya. Kalau menurut kita sih nilai tambahnya.
I see. And why did you collaborate with others? It's not so common because banyak dari kita selalu kita belajar dalam kultur yang kompetitif. Tapi kenapa banyak sekali dari tadi yang dijelaskan oleh Dana dan Flo ketika presentasi, kolaborasi dengan, bahkan saya catatin itu semua, kolaborasi dengan arsitek lain, kolaborasi dengan pemerintah, kolaborasi dengan donatur, kolaborasi dengan NGO. So many collaborations works that you do for your works. Why?
Look, for the micro libraries, for instance, this is a project, or these are projects which are not the classical client-architect relation, right? So usually a client says, I would like to have this sort of build, and they look for an architect. In that case, it was more like, we have an idea and we would like to do that, and we have to start pitching it, right? So we basically, usually the client finds the architect, and in this case, the architect tries to find the client, and that's the reason why we collaborate with all these people and start talking with all these people in order to get these projects off the ground. But I mean, apart from NGOs, I mean, we also collaborate with other architects. I mean, we did once a competition together with Lab, with Gemawang. We collaborated with Andra Martin. Who else are we collaborating with? Landscape architects. Okay, this is a little bit different because it's, you know, you have different expertises. But Umar Sain, we collaborated.
Yeah, you collaborate with governments. I mean, like, you're involved with so many things from your presentations. I mean, like, you contribute directly to the society by your design. I mean, like, why you start this initiative? It's I think it's important for us to know. I mean, penting buat kita biar tahu latar belakangnya SHAU bisa berkontribusi langsung kepada masyarakat sekitar dengan desain yang mereka eksekusi dan didukung oleh pemerintah gitu, teman-teman. Jadi maksudnya saya pengen tahu alasan di belakang ini.
Selain kebetulan aja emang jalurnya SHAU jadi begitu ya, karena nasib-nasib juga nggak bisa dipilih-pilih kita mau ketemu siapa kan. Tapi begitu kita nemuin orang yang menurut kita bisa diajak kerjasama, kita coba kerjasama tuh. Karena dengan kolaborasi kan hemat energi, hemat biaya, dan juga bisa benar-benar meringankan beban kita kalau semuanya nggak bisa kan dipikirin sendiri. Jadi kita untuk dalam hal pemerintah tuh kita cuma nyari betul-betul yang mau mendukung. Kalau nggak mau mendukung, mendingan dari awal nggak usah diketemuin karena buang-buang waktu aja. Dalam hal kolaborasi dengan arsitek, kita cuma kerjasama dengan yang cocok kerjanya bareng, karena kalau nggak cocok itu nanti buang-buang waktu juga, soalnya mendingan dikerjain sendiri gitu sih menurut kita. Konteks-konteks juga tergantung siapa yang bisa diajak kerjasama, tapi buat kita the word initiative is very important, soalnya kita pengen menempatkan arsitek sebagai stakeholder. Jadi arsitek bukan cuma tukang yang bisa dibayar terus disuruh-suruh nih, tapi kita juga pengen punya stand bagaimana arsitektur bisa berguna loh buat society, bahwa arsitek tuh intelektual juga, nggak cuma jago ngedesain tapi jago menyelesaikan masalah juga secara perkotaan. Kita pengennya arsitek dinilai seperti itu.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. If I might add, I think what is also quite important to understand, and maybe for younger architects, it's not like that the architect is shaping the projects. The projects are shaping the architect too. It's a reciprocal way. And you know, we were lucky, or we were able to sort of see chances in the beginning after International Architecture Biennale in Rotterdam, and also being part of this, especially Daliana with the Indonesian diaspora, to get in contact with the right people back here. Right? And this sort of networking, you all of a sudden have the chance to pitch your ideas. And so with a educational background where we're coming from the Berlage, which is more dealing with the city, which is dealing more with the public space aspects, and maybe this sort of architecture, what we learned there, dealing with these aspects more, all of a sudden you have the possibility to talk to people who can make such projects happen.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you start making the first one and then the second one, and then, you know, all of a sudden you slightly shift or grow grow. I think it's a better word, grow in a certain direction. Look, because quite frankly, when I left UN Studio to start to work as a researcher for TU Delft, I was much more interested in parametric design and things like this. And also in part of our early projects or designs, which never got realized, is much more of this shapy and parametric design aspect in. But, you know, it became less and less important. Also because, you know, operating here in Indonesia, I personally started to realize that the question of architecture lies somewhere else, right? So it is not as affluent and luxurious in terms of you know, building knowledge and know-how as we have it in Europe or maybe in the United States, right? So you need to go a step back and try to first understand what can the people do and how can I communicate, how can I get the most out of a context like this. And then you also understand slowly that, you know, having a fantastically shaped whatever shopping mall is for people who are already saturated. Here in Indonesia, you know, making a taman film is for people who have very little. So the realization with a little step in Indonesia, you can achieve a lot, versus with a big step in Europe, we achieve very little. You know, sort of, you know, this sort of project also start making you grow in a certain direction. Then these aspects which I mentioned become then less important in the social and the public space aspect, and the performance and what it can contribute to a society become more and more important.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Mudah-mudahan teman-teman bisa ngikutin ya. Jadi jadi tadi sudah dijelaskan langsung dengan Teh Dana juga. Oke, kita lanjutkan. Ini ada beberapa pertanyaan dari teman-teman juga. Untuk micro, we're going to back to the architecture part again. Untuk micro library, bagaimana cara mengatasi udara yang kotor dari lokasi yang letaknya di pinggir jalan? How do you manage the pollutant air on your micro library? It's from
Ada masalah-masalah yang bisa diselesaikannya hanya di level regional nih. Jadi arsitektur kadang cuma bisa menyelesaikan beberapa masalah, nggak bisa semuanya. Tiba-tiba ada arsitektur di situ terus seluruh dunia jadi kayak surga gitu kan. Jadi polusi udara ini lebih besar kan, tentunya secara regional, secara negara juga, bahwa memang kita tingkat polusi udaranya cukup tinggi. Jadi kita tidak bisa menyelesaikan masalah polusi udara dengan hanya satu bangunan kecil. What do you think?
Maybe to make it sharpen. Sorry, he was trying to ask, how do you filterize the pollutant air to go to inside the micro library?
Not at all. How do you filter it in a normal house? Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm living in Bandung since 5 years, and if you don't wipe your floor every whatever day or second day, and you go over, you have a black finger, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a black finger now, but
because it's wiped.
No, but look, houses, buildings here are not airtight. You have everywhere the slits where air can go in. There's always, even if you have air conditioning, whatever, the houses are not airtight. The window products you have in Indonesia are also not airtight. There's constantly something coming in. So, you know, we made this study, and which was also published in FuturArc, which is called The Healthy House, right? So if you want to do this really, really properly, you need to make an airtight house with an central air conditioning and air filtering system, which filters out all the small dust particles and the pollutants. Then you will have a clean, breathable air. But as long as we don't have any filters and all these buses going up the hill and shooting out big clouds of black soot, right?
Black smoke, yeah.
Black smoke. So many cars, so many scooters. If we don't improve the country on a regional level, you know, the question of an individual building, no, then you need to employ a high-tech solution for that, or it won't work at all.
Okay.
Jadi hidup bersama debu, hidup bersama polusi, begitulah ya, kalau kotanya berpolusi ya begitu. Tapi kan bangunan micro library Bima itu kan ada lapangannya, jadi ada jarak lah dari jalanan. Jadi tidak ada masalah tinggal di situ gitu, orangnya nggak pada sakit asma semua di situ ya, yang tinggal di sekitar jalan Bima kok. Jadi paling yang kita filter ya itu matahari, terus cross ventilation aja, dan supaya nggak terlalu lembab gimana caranya. Tapi untuk polusi udara secara keseluruhan tidak bisa di-apa-apain.
I mean, we're living in a really well-built, very stable house here in Bandung.
Yeah.
But if a motor modifikasi with a knalpot comes, it doesn't matter. It sounds like as if I'm 2 meters away.
Yeah.
So there is no difference because
it happens now behind me.
Yeah. So,
kalau ada yang bakar sampah, if they burn the garbage, then we smell it.
When we smell it. Houses here buildings here are relatively permeable, So they're not so well locked off. And this comes through the construction technique and, windows and so on and so forth. So, yes, I mean, we could improve that, but then, the costs would raise. So you maybe, if you want to improve it on a long term, you have to tackle it from both sides. Better window products, better technology for buildings. At the same time, you ban all these diesel buses, and the police is a little bit more, doesn't take any whatever, and gets rid of all these knallpot guys,
Yeah.
So you have to work from both sides.
Good. Okay. I hope saya harapkan itu bisa menjawab pertanyaannya tadi dari Mas Kak Ikhwan. Okay, so we still have 10 minutes. Let's try to summarize these questions. Do you guys have 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Kita cuma khawatir bagi yang mau berbuka, padahal kelaparan nggak sempet nggak nyiapin makanan gitu aja sih. Tapi kitanya available.
Okay, we still have 10 minutes before the breakfast, and I'm trying to get about your characters. Okay, so there are several questions. This question is quite interesting. Would you tell us about your characters involve your design concept?
Maksudnya karakter psikologis gitu. Kitanya kalem apa suka marah gitu, apa gimana maksudnya?
Probably. I'm not quite sure, but I'm quite interested into those questions. But maybe I can help him to because there are 2 person now, right, on designing things. How both of you can mix up this sparkling ideas and make it to a single design? Like how? Be honest.
It's a battle every time. At home, especially if you're married to your partner, it's a complete collision. Sometimes it becomes productive actually.
Good.
It's a lot of energy to spend in order to create something. But also, it's not just it's the team at the office. So everybody at SHAU may have their idea and can create some designs which are not part of the brief, or it is possible to be creative about it. So it is not just our character, but also our office staff's characters. The design.
Great.
When we talk about characters, I'm more the rush and hot-headed person. I get easily angry.
Not hard to tell.
She's more the diplomatic person.
Yeah.
But I think in the office, she is also more the cold person. I'm more the funny
warm.
If I'm angry with or not angry, if I'm criticizing my stuff, I am now sending Darth Vader images, choking the stuff. And then know, like, I'm not so happy, so feel force choked, then
Okay. So, is there any teman-teman kalau ada yang mau tanya lagi silakan. Jadi mungkin kita bisa tampung. Ada pertanyaan lagi. How about I see. Okay, this is from Firman. He see a lot of models. You make models. Models. Do you think it is really important to have models during the design process?
You or me? Oh iya, oke. Ya, jadi buat kita penting sih kalau sedapat mungkin bisa latihan pakai model. Soalnya kan zaman sekarang pakai 3D semua nih latihannya. Ada dimensi yang kurang dari 3D itu, yaitu pas kita ngelihat megang barangnya, ada aspek fisiknya, kita bisa ngelihat hal-hal lain yang nggak ada kelihatan di 3D-nya kan, dan secara dimensi pencahayaan, struktur juga bisa berasa gitu kalau ada physical model. Jadi sedapat mungkin sih kalau bisa pakai physical model. Tapi kadang-kadang banyak juga proyek yang buru-buru banget. Jadi kita nggak sempet study pakai model karena itu membutuhkan waktu. Market gitu lama bikinnya kan mesti manual dipotong-potong. Cuma kadang-kadang kita bikin gitu, kadang-kadang ya enggak gitu sih, menyesuaikan dengan project.
Okay.
I wish we would do more models, much more.
Wow.
It's not enough models actually.
Pengennya sih lebih banyak lagi sih emang sih. Kurang.
Oke, teman-teman. Jadi menurut mereka itu sangat penting untuk bisa punya market atau model studi langsung fisik. Itu sangat penting dan bisa mempengaruhi proses desainnya mereka. And I think that was the last question of this sessions. And Dana or Flo, do you have any words for us as closing or closing statements? Not closing statements, just for us to remember. Do you have any words for us?
Ya, kita
live long and prosper.
Ya.
Selamat makan buat yang berbuka puasa, semoga lancar ibadahnya. Terima kasih banget udah nyiapin waktu buat diskusi bareng. Terima kasih nonton bareng Pekanbaru nih, makin seru ya kayaknya setiap edisi. Dan ya semoga berlanjut terus diskusi-diskusinya makin menarik. Terima kasih ya semuanya.
Terima kasih. Oke, kembali ke Bang Parlim.
Oh ya udah Nil, gitu aja.
Alright.